Hi, it's Professor Kim Nelson with the Jewelry Design Department at FIT. Continuing on with some of our tutorials here for freeform modeling. I want to talk about how to use a pipe in a maquette fashion to draw surface detail. On the previous video I tried to use it as a finished surface. Pipes have limited usefulness there, but as a maquetting tool, a sketching tool, they can be very powerful. So this is the puffed heart from our previous tutorial. I'm going to bring in a picture frame. Picture frame can be also a good way of bringing information in from outside. Same idea, you bring in a JPEG. Plop it in your background and there you go. Picture frame is actually on a surface. So you can move that surface and scale that surface, and the picture frame, the image, will scale right along with it. You can do it by eye, or like we've done with the background bitmap, you can also do it using object snaps, for example. This is not going to be perfectly positionable because it's a regular photograph, but so you have parallax and other things to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and 2D scale it. I don't need it precise, I just need it roughly close to what I want it to be. Steal some of that pattern off of it. And non-uniform scale. Somewhere in this area, up a little bit, and move it again. Okay, I'm going to say something in that area is acceptable to me. Okay, when you go to the object properties here, if you want to be able to see through this and not have this glaring white background, you can go to the materials. Okay, and you have color, which is the image. You have gloss, reflectivity, and transparency. You can actually move this transparency slider, and your image will become more transparent, so you can see the grid and whatnot through it. I'm going to go ahead and lock the layer that's on, so I don't select it accidentally. So this will give me what I want. I'm going to actually just draw one of these curves. Interpolate curve. Draw something down the middle of it, roughly. And as usual with Rhino, I'll let it overlap. I'm going to move this off to one side. I'm going to copy it back with history so that I can work on it remotely. I'll show you what I mean. Bring back my heart and project it with history. Okay, so that gives me the curve. Now, unfortunately, I want to go back a bit. I don't want that to go all the way off the heart because it'll wrap around, and I don't want it to wrap. You saw that when it was projected there, that it went all the way around to the back. So I'll trim it off somewhere here. Same. Move it a couple grids over, record history, and copy it back. And record history again, and project. There. I only want the top one, so I'll Control-click to deselect it so I can easily delete the bottom one. It's important when you project that you keep the copy option equals yes, because if you lose the base one here, then you've lost control. Now I can show you how this would look, test to make sure it's functioning. If I move this curve, that curve should update. Okay. In fact, to make sure I don't get confused, I'm going to put this curve on a separate layer and turn that layer off. So, going to refine this a little bit. F5. I would say about 16 points should be a good start for this. You'll see that updated automatically. Turn on my points. And I'm looking at the image through here. And moving my points to the left here and watching it update on the right. The power of this is of course a 3D curve. This is sitting on my object right now. Curvature graph. I'm going to rebuild with some more points. I'm going to go with something like 24. Give me a more control over. Now I'm more interested in my drawing than I am that image. So I'm not even going to really be paying attention to what's happening over there on the right that much. Okay. And that should be good enough for our purposes. Okay, so there it is updated here and on the surface at the same time. Now I'm going to take this curve and I'm going to pipe it with history. This is a maquette, so it just needs to be approximate. I want something relatively delicate down here. Something like that. And I want something a bit more robust up here. But actually, I'm going to keep that same delicate setting. And then for the next radius, I'll pick here and get something a little more full. Yeah. Hit enter. That's fine. Okay. Because history was attached, if I move this curve, it all should move. So if there's any further finessing I want to do, now that I can actually see the pipe, I can do that now. Bring the curvature graph back, make sure I'm alright. It's fine. So, I have a nice relationship between the history and the finished object here. I'm not going to use the pipe itself. I'm going to use its intersection curves. So where it intersects with this surface, okay, is going to be useful to me. Going to move those over, project them to the C-plane. Hide the pipe. Explode this. I don't have any need for the two end pieces. Join the rest back together again. Rebuild them. I'm going to rebuild them into something that makes sense. This 24 is pretty good. And record history, copy them back over. Once again, so I can control them remotely. And project with history. And delete. Now, every time I adjust, these curves come back into view down there. So we don't really get rid of them, but it makes it a little clearer if we delete them. So now I'm going to come in and take a look at the actual detail I have here. Turn on my points. Grab this end snap here, this end piece. I do want it to follow along. Actually, I'm going to take it and have it touch that center point. So point snap, end snap. And you'll see this updated. Don't need the sub anchor point here. And this is actually okay. I'm going to leave that where it is. Turn on the points here. Move that to the end. You'll see it updated. And smooth this out a little bit. That's fine. Okay. And you'll see that's updated over here. I would like to be able to get cross-section information. So going to go perpendicular both sides. As you approach, anytime you turn a corner, class, you want to have a cross-section that helps you out. So I will probably pull several cross-sections coming around. And then only one, perhaps, in here. I'm going to trim those off. I'm going to grab all of these sections, copy them over with history, and project them with history. And once again, we only need the top ones, so drag a window to deselect the rest and delete the ones in back. Okay? So I've got that. Now these curves on the ground, which are my copies, I can just change to that other layer. Don't know what that was about. I don't know why it wants to do that. That makes no sense to me. Okay. Apparently it wanted to. I must have had a change on my change layer. I must have had a option. Nope, don't know why. Okay. I'm cool with a mystery. It's alright. So, there, I have my curves in position, ready to go to start doing my finished modeling. I would like this detail to stand up a little bit from the heart. Okay. So I'm going to do a surface extrude normal. I don't know why it keeps picking that base. Oh, okay. I can only do one curve at a time. Fine. The arrow's pointing downward, so I want to go the opposite direction. I want to come up, and I want to set the distance, so I'm going to put it at minus 0.15. And that is about what I wanted. Repeat the command. Going to continue going around. Except for it doesn't come in contact with that surface. So here, so we need that one. And this base here. There. So I have a slight sidewall that's getting me in position to do my finished modeling. Now I need an elevation. I'm going to bring back my pipe, and I'm going to extract the iso curve down its spine. Okay, something like that. So by using this pipe, I was able to begin with, I was able to create the two side rails, and I was able to gesture in a top rail. I'm going to grab this curve right here. Extrude curve normal to surface. Just going to pull it up and use it to split this curve, which I'm going to also want to rebuild because it's going to have too many points. That's fine. So I have that. I'm going to extend curve by arc to point. And bring this down to the end there. And it looks like it has nice continuity, so I'm good with that. For the rest of the surfacing, I simply need to decide what kind of cross-section I want to have. I'm going to do my cutting plane. End to end. I would like to get an intersection. And set a C-plane. And that's it for now. I'll continue later. Thank you for watching.